Dizzy Rascal turned, like, bro, like, shout out Dizzy. Like, Dizzy Rascal turned up to go jet skiing. Chris Eubank Jr. turned up to go jet skiing with us. And me and my boys sat there like, oh my, bro, have you seen who's here? I don't think I've ever painted before. No banner.
Hello and welcome to Drawn Out Conversations, the show where we delve into the lives of our guests through art.
Yeah.
Great start. Listen, I am joined today by a retired lover man, an ex-gyalist, Josh Denzel, everyone. Come on.
Rah, that's my favourite intro of all time.
Come on, retired gyalist.
Yeah, fully retired.
Shout out to Ruby.
Hung up the boots.
Yeah, he's hung up the boots.
You
know the Xavi Alonso meme? Yeah, see you later. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm nervous.
Why?
Because...
Do I make you nervous?
No, not really. It's the art. It's the canvas.
Right, okay.
You know what I mean? You said you want to delve into my life through art. I don't know what you're going to find out, bro. It could be some strange stuff.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah. We like strange on this show. What I want to know is, first of all,
yes,
how artistic are you?
I'm like the least artistic person I think you'll have on this whole show.
You're like Van Gogh without the two ears.
Yeah, exactly. And without the artistic brain.
Yeah.
Without everything.
Without hands and fingers.
Yeah. I mean, I basically... Shout out Miss Forgione, at my school, my art teacher, yeah.
Shout out.
She didn't see that much of me.
Yeah.
She don't know my name. No.
You know her name, but she doesn't know
yours. I knew because I knew that was Friday afternoons. That was my time to get home.
Why though? Did you not find it?
You'll see.
Okay.
Oh, you'll see. You know, like I feel like at school I was quite good at everything. Art was not one of those things. I can imagine sport
you were quite good at.
Yeah, art was just not one of those things. Art was one of those things where I'd start drawing and people start laughing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can see why that might.
Yeah.
My skills aren't very good either. All right.
Okay, good.
So you're in good company.
I don't believe you. You wouldn't have created a concept like this if you weren't good at art, man.
No, do you know, this is the mad thing.
You're a liar and a
do you know, this is the mad thing.
I've never trusted you, man. From the day I met you, bro, I've never trusted you. We'll see. We'll find out. The truth will be in the proofs in the pudding.
You know, this is actually the mad thing. I came up with this concept, fully not being able to draw. I just thought it would be a fun concept.
I like it. It's new. It's fresh.
It's what we do out here, mate. We need to freshen up the scene, baby. Whilst you're doing that, I'm going to be drawing you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I've got the privilege of that.
Wow. How's my side profile?
yeah, the wing backs you got. Danny Elmer's
if you draw me like Stephen A. Smith, I'm going to punch you up live on this podcast.
Hey, Stephen A. just signed a £50 million contract, so anything like him, bro.
Shout out my large forehead gang.
We're going to take a trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
And I want you to draw me something or someone that means a lot to you from your past. How was it growing up? Obviously, North London boy?
North London, N5, born and raised.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What was life like in North London?
Do you know what? I moved to South West now, and there's part of me that still harks back to it. Like, you grew up in North London, and because I grew up in Highbury, I'm about 200 yards from the West End of Highbury, Like, my school was on Conewood Street, which is the same street that runs like directly onto the West End. So like everything's Arsenal. Yeah. For me, like you walk down the street, it's the Arsenal barbers. Yeah. It's the Arsenal fish and chip shop. It's the Arsenal, it's the Gunners pub. It was all football, Go in the park. I had two parks, like Finsbury Park and Clissold Park at the end of the road. So it was the days when like you could go out and your parents would be like, listen, as long as the lights, like when the lights go off on the street, you got to be home. So we'd head to the park at the bottom of the street.
Yep.
Play ball, play frisbee, run around, you know what I mean, get into all kinds of nonsense. Mm-hmm. But as soon as you
were you naughty?
I was never naughty. No. I was more cheeky.
Okay, the cheeky chappy.
Cheeky chappy, like one of them ones. My brain is, I've drawn a line, Maz. And I'm
by the way, we're a couple of minutes in, This is where we're at. What stands out for you from your childhood?
What stands out? Yeah. Do you know what? Like I was blessed to have a really good group of friends. Like, and I think that was the key for me. Like, I've always been I've always tried to entertain people. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? From the very jump. So for me, like it was always very much like me, the boys rolling around. Mm-hmm. Right now. No, what are you looking at?
I was looking at your big forehead.
Yeah, you shorten that. You put that in the shrinker, bro. You put that in the hot wash. So, like, my boys are like, when I say it's a bit of a weird way, like they're everything to me. Like, you know what I mean? That's my little. Like they're like everything to me. Do you know what I mean? And I still like I've had like, the same group of friends like with a few additions since we was like 8, 9 years old. Do you know what I mean? Like Steph, shout out Baldy. That like he's my manager now. Do you know what I mean? That was my best friend from school. So
and is that because you trust him? I
don't trust him, but I think he's stealing from me. I swear to God, he could be stealing from me.
Oh, Steph, you're watching, mate. I don't condone this behaviour. I think you're a stand-up, lovely guy.
I really don't. But you know, like this is the thing.
No, but surely there's that element to.
Of course, there's a level of trust there and understanding, but like because we spent so much time together, you know, as part of our little gang, we used to call ourselves the BMT. Me, my boy Steph, and my other boy Josh.
Isn't that a sandwich in Subway?
BMT, bro. It's the bad man trio. Imagine.
The bad man trio.
Yeah, crazy.
Oh, so
crazy.
Who was it, you, Steph, and who?
My little mate Josh Pitt. When I say little mate, like he's not gonna like that, but he is little.
Okay.
He's small.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no respect.
Like, what did you boys get up to?
Nothing bad.
Nothing bad.
Nothing bad. Hanging around, going Brent Cross Shopping Centre, window shopping.
So you weren't very bad, really.
Nah, sharing a mango frappe.
Mango frappe.
Mango frappe. When they dropped about 2006, 5.
I've not even heard that mango frappe before.
Mango frappe went crazy, bro.
That's crazy.
275.
275.
Mad. So nothing bad.
Okay.
We just used to hang around and chat. You know what I mean? Beat all day.
What's one thing from the past that
Yeah.
you would bring back to the present day?
Oh my
Whether
God.
it's a TV show, a drink, a food, like anything from the past that you bring to the current day. What are you bringing back?
An allowance of banter, like being able to be a little bit closer to the line than you can now, like everybody being upset.
Nonsense.
Yeah, you know.
No, I hear
Sean
it.
Dash, but like, because sometimes I feel like now you have to be so careful, so careful with what you say that like, you know, sometimes you'll say some stuff that you think is really funny, and I'll go,
"Am I gonna get cancelled?"
Yeah, and I know. And then someone comes to me afterward, that was hilarious, but
no,
couldn't
100%.
laugh in that sense.
Listen, I'm
that's mad.
not on your level in terms of when it comes to presenting stuff, but working in the same field, working in the same space, you feel like you're walking on eggshells a little bit.
100%.
Because if you say one wrong thing, cancel culture nowadays.
Well, you know what? I'm not lying to you. I pray to God.
Yeah. Touch wood.
Touch wood. I never get cancelled.
Yeah.
But I think about it
I love
sometimes.
that. You did? No, of course.
I think about it. I think sometimes.
I can imagine.
What would I do? I said I'd have
Yeah.
to just go disappear. I had to go Bali or something.
No, 100%.
And just sit on the beach for like 2 years until they forget.
Yeah. Ultimately, it's your livelihood. It's your trait. It's what you're good at. It's what you enjoy. It's your passion. And for someone to take that away from you because of maybe a bad job, obviously, listen. If you go,
I'm not saying go out there and say reckless stuff.
Exactly.
You know
We don't
what I mean?
condone that.
I don't condone that.
We don't condone that behaviour.
Yeah.
No, of course, like you said, like a harmful joke in your perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to get cancelled over that, it is mad.
Tough, man.
It is tough.
It's tough. And then I'd also think Sam's 2 for 2. You know, there are other fried chicken shops available, but Sam's 2 for 2 is now £9.45.
Right.
2 strip burgers, 2 chips. That was the after school.
You're not a
Michelin
Morningside.
star.
You're not South, are you?
No, this is North London, bro.
Yeah, it's North London.
I'm telling you,
Mornings
Sam's 2 for 2. If you remember Sam's 2 for 2.
So was that two? What would you get? 2 for £2? What,
2 chicken
burgers?
strip burgers, 2 chips, £2.
No way.
That's mad. People talk about the like Freddo's being like, I mean, the marker for inflation. Sam's 2 for 2 being £9.35 right now. That shows the country's a mess.
Josh, growing up,
come on.
did you always want to be a presenter?
Bro, I wanted to be a presenter ever since I
day dot?
saw Fern Cotton and Reggie Yates.
Oh, Reggie Yates.
Shout out
What a
Reggie,
throwback,
man.
Yeah.
But like, basically presenting this little US road trip for CBBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw that, and they were driving this red Mustang, and they were just having a bit of banter. Do you know what I mean? I just saw them, and I was like, that could be a job.
Yeah,
I was like, that don't
People get
make
paid for
no
that.
sense.
Yeah.
My mum's old school Caribbean parenting, so she would not have stood for me saying, you know what I want to do? I want to use my education to go and present nonsense on TV. She'd be like, that's impossible. You ain't never gonna do it.
Yeah.
So, you know, that I kind of just decided that I'm gonna probably use my talking nonsense talents.
Where do you think that stems from though? Is it your mum, your dad, or just like your friends, where you grew up?
No,
What made you good at being able to chat to people? Because it is a skill.
You know what? Like, I feel like, honestly, from birth, it was in my DNA to try and take. And whether it was funny or not, and whether it worked or not, I would just keep banging the drum. I would keep banging out the same 5 jokes, or like I just wanted to be center of attention at some point. Okay. I wanted people to
so you like the attention.
I was dead, but back then more. But like now, I was just like, at this point, I kind of more just wanted people to like me. To be honest, it actually happened was like my boys were going, like, I hated my job. Like I was in post-uni, job in recruitment.
Buddies, come on.
I know, and you know how dark it gets.
Yeah, 100%.
But you know how dark.
It's the worst thing ever.
If anybody ever says to you, like after uni, you know what you need to do? You could earn thousands of pounds in the city. You get to wear a suit and roll around bank. You'll be upset. You'll be sad. You'll hate Sundays because it means it's one day close to Monday. Oh. So like I was
that Sunday dread.
No, it was the worst you've ever seen. Yeah. So for me, I was like, I've got to do something. I have to do something that is going to get me out of this funk. Yeah, because like this version of me, I was just unhappy, bro. I didn't want to do nothing.
Is this prior to Lad Bible? Because obviously you worked at Lad Bible.
This is like probably in the 8 months. A year before Lad Bible, right? Like just post uni.
You just weren't happy with where you were.
I was just thinking this can't be me for the rest of the time. And I was one of the people who like I always believed like a job's a job, innit? Like I was just thinking that pays your money, you get to do what you want to do on a weekend. Yeah. Like that's it. Like a job allows you to live the life that you really want to live. Basically, when I spoke to our good friend Arian, who's one of the founders of Lad Bible, I played football with at uni. He was kind of like, well, we don't really need any presenters, bro. And I know you're kind of sad and upset at your life, but like, it don't really make
sounds like a you problem.
It doesn't really make business sense. And I just basically bothered him for about 4 months, every day being like, yo, I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. And he was like, finally gave in and was like, you can work for free, bro, if you want. I was like, I will do anything. Because I was like, I need to change. I need to move the needle somehow. Because if I keep doing this, man, I'm going to, have a worse hairline than I do right now at a younger age, bro. When I eventually got in, it was like, okay, you can do a couple of shoots, but then when you come on board, you can actually start being part of the marketing team. Yeah. I didn't know what the hell that meant. I was just banging out emails with, horrific grammar, being like, yo, you man want to work with Lad Bible and that? Like, genuinely, like, what do you fancy? Like, talking to the UFC, like, we got crazy followers, You want to get involved in this? There weren't many people doing what we were doing.
No, 100%,
so like, there wasn't really a blueprint. There was like me, Vooge, Poet, Craig Mitch. But like the
early gen,
super early. Like, we're talking like 100%. Instagram didn't even have stories at this time.
Yeah, crazy.
Do you know what I mean? So you're like, there's not really many people that you could go speak to and be like, right, okay, how are we supposed to do this? What are we supposed to set up? So you're kind of creating a lane and a narrative, and it seemed to go quite well. And like brands were like, oh my god, this is like a new wave, a new thing. We're not getting your kind of standard Sky, like we're getting time with BT or Sky Sports or whoever it may be. Like we're getting a kind of different energy out of the players and out of our athletes or from whatever, like, if you're doing a boot launch for Puma or something, it's like we're getting, oh wow, this is like a different type of coverage.
Is it true as well? I don't know if it's a rumor or not, but is it true that the way you got into it was that you went on a shoot with David Hay and you were meant to just be the cam op and you actually started just whack yourself on camera?
Bro, it is, Arian said to me,
I rate that. I rate it. But he said, don't do it.
He said, don't do it, bro. He's like, come on, you go there, you make sure the shoot goes well.
Yeah.
All right, you can get a feel for what the shoot is like. So I got there and I was thinking, what, this is my one chance, bro. I'm like logged on my phone. I was like logged into Lad Bible. I was like, right, there's so much power. I was thinking, if I post it, like, I'm not going to take it down. So I was like, right, let me just see what I can do here, see what I can host. Like, can I do this? Yeah. And like, I'd got on with like, when, you go to these shoots and you're kind of doing that 5-minute preamble and like David Hayes there and all of his crew in the gym. Like, I'm a massive boxing fan. So for me to be like, in the same gym and see inside the inner circle of, David Hay, I was like, this is crazy. And then we kind of got on and we had a bit of banter. And while I was like filming him, he's having some banter with me and we're kind of vibing. So I thought, nah, I think this is the right time for me to then start. Can you film this bit for me? Can you do this? Can you do that? And then eventually, as you're posting it live, you're getting some good reactions, and he's like, right, you know what we should do, bro? We should get you in one of the body bags, and I should be hitting you and doing this. Yeah. And so after about half an hour, it's all done. I've posted it up. I'm thinking, I've got to go back to the office, and I think they're going to kill me in that. And people going, as I was walking in, people were like, Josh, that was unreal. I avoided Aaron's office like the plague. Let me tell you that for free. But it was genuinely like, that was when I realized, hang on a minute, I can do this. And then you realize it's a game about relationships as much as it's about like 100%. How good you are at what you're doing. It's like you want to kind of capture an energy and you want to be the bridge between the people watching and whatever athlete or
Of course,
footballer or
it applies
whatever.
in a lot of places, right?
Yeah. And that was it. And then after that, we got on so well, bro. He was like, geez, like, I'm going to Miami for Christmas. And I happened to be going to Miami. It wasn't I'm following around, but like David Hay was like, I'm going to Miami for Christmas. And I was like, well, I'm actually going to be in Miami with my boy. And he was like, well, bro, take my number. Come see me. And I'm like thinking, not a chance, bro, like not a chance. He's going to ever message me like, so I get there and I'm on the plane. I'm so buzzing. Like before we even take off from Heathrow, I'm like, David, mate, going to be in town in about 12 hours. Like, what do you imagine? And fair play to him, bro. He texted me right by the time I landed, a couple of texts, come here, do this, come, let's go jet skiing. So we ended up spending a week with David Hay when he was training for his fight with Tony Bellew, the first one.
That must have been like a mad experience.
Bro, like Dizzy Rascal turned, shout out Dizzy. Like Dizzy Rascal turned up to go jet skiing. Chris Eubank Jr. turned up to go jet skiing with us, and me and my boy sat there like, oh my, bro, you've seen who's here.
That's crazy.
And that for us, like, you know, it never gets like, you never get used to.
Does that ever get old? That feeling?
Never, ever.
That's
never,
mad,
bro. And like, so we were like, wow, this is insane. I got back, and then people were like, oh, we need to get you on more shoots. Like, this is great. Like, because Lad Bible was all about. Do you know what I mean? It's like the people's channel. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like
100%.
It's about relationships. It's about building energy. And after that, I was like, nah, this is me for good.
Yeah, 100%. When you had a taste of it,
no, you can't.
You don't let go.
Bro, you can't go back. I was doing like 3 shoots for Lad Bible and going back to the office and like just banging out a load of emails in Maidenhead, you know, like selling marketing cloud software, thinking this is how have I gone from like meeting my heroes to then going back and doing this? And that's how I knew, like.
So I asked you.
Yeah.
Draw me something or someone from your childhood.
Yeah.
And you have drawn us.
Yeah. Yeah. Boom, boom, boom.
Okay, talk me through it. I know what this is, but for...
So this is the West Stand of Highbury.
It's been a bad man crew. What is it called?
Bad man trio, bro.
Bad man trio.
Only 3 of us, bro. It's a tight-knit community.
Real bad.
Real tight-knit community, real bad. And like we used to, this is like from wherever, like, as I come down from my road onto like Blackstock Road, and like, as I look across past the Bank of Friendship pub, this is the view that I had forever and ever and ever. Whenever I used to get the bus, get in the train, go to school, like that. So it was ingrained into me, like North London, Highbury, Arsenal. This is like my happy place. And I go Arsenal with my dad, like still to this day, like we got season tickets, like in the West Stand at the Emirates now. So for me, like it's just brings back such good memories because this is where I spend my time with my dad. You know what I mean? Like this, you know, as you get older, you kind of often find like excuses to not spend time with people. You're like, I'm busy here, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I think football's been the one constant, like where I know every other week or twice a week, I'm gonna see my dad, and for 3 hours, it's just me, him, and Arsenal. Like, and that's it. And that's like, you know what I mean? Talk about like, this is supposed to be a safe space when we're drawing stuff. This ain't a safe space, bro. This is the safest space. But sometimes.
It depends how they're getting on.
Sometimes, yeah. But when we were at Highbury, this is like my favourite era of football because you you would go to school every day and it was like 90% Arsenal fans and there were like 1 Chelsea fan and 2 Tottenham fans in our school. And every game, unless it was United where like that was 50-50, bro, you knew after a North London derby, after a big game against Chelsea, like you go in and you'd be like, what happened to you, man? And it was like 10v1. So you always felt big. Your chest was out. Walking to school, you were never losing. Wait. I'm not going to bait him out now, but I can't wait to get him. And you knew, listen, we're going unbeaten. Yeah. We're winning doubles. You know what I mean? FA Cups.
Far cry from today's game, but... I want you to paint me
I got something.
your current state of mind.
Wow.
So there's no rules, Josh. Be as abstract, be as expressive as you want.
Is that not abstract, bro?
That was very abstract, yeah. But we need it for you. What's going on in that nut of yours? I don't actually want to know, to be fair. Boy. I don't want to know what's going on in that nut of yours.
Send me straight to the nut house, man. I'm telling you. If I drew what I thought.
Hey, start doing irons. Right. I want to know, how's life?
Do you know what? I am, no about that, in an unbelievable headspace right now.
Love that.
Like, for me, like I'm starting to kind of see, you do a lot of hard work when you do a lot, you know what it's like. Yeah. You do a lot of grafting and like you maybe don't necessarily get some of the credit you think you deserve. Maybe you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
But I feel like now it's coming to that time where I've been in this game in terms of like presenting and hosting for long enough now that like the relationships I've built over the course of, you know, a few years, whether it's with people or just through the work that I've done, is really coming to fruition. Do you know what I mean? Like getting offered some sick jobs and some sick gigs and opportunities, that stuff that, like, do you know, like the 15-year-old me would lose its absolute mind at.
Is there anything that's not so good? Is there anything that, you know, potentially you could be like, that could be better?
Only thing I have to complain about, well, it's not even really a complaint, is that I spend a lot of time away from home. And, you know, like...
Does that cause issues with the missus?
You know what, she is, no banner, unbelievable with me, because I told her, like, when we first started seeing each other, like, shout out Rubes, like, that I said to her, like, you don't really want to go out with me because I am never ever here. And like, that was true then, but it's double true now.
Right.
Like, it's double true. Like, I spent like 7 days in the country in 2025 right now. She's so top. And I was like, you don't ever want to be with me. I'm away all the time. And she was like, no, I get that. With what's happening with boxing in terms of going to, like, a lot of it's going to Saudi Arabia, with, you know, when I'm away with England and you're away at, you know, doing Lions Den for 5-6 weeks at a time. And I was just in Bangkok, you know, so like, and stuff just pops up. You're in the States, whether it's, you know, you're doing something in Vegas for some UFC, like, you're away a lot. You know, we just got engaged, so.
Congrats.
You know,
by the way, if you haven't seen this engagement, outrageous. Outrageous behaviour. I mean, class, but also outrageous.
Yeah, no, I'm hurting financially. Yeah,
I'm gonna lose my job.
You know, as that meme was, I'm in serious pain. Yeah. I'm wearing the neck.
Ian Bill meme.
I'm wearing the neck. I'm wearing the neck brace, bro. And but well worth it. Worth it. And like, she's
unreal.
Yeah, she has to deal with me kind of disappearing.
Sorry, just going back to Ruby. Sorry about what you said, like being supporting that. I think that's a really amazing trait, because I know not all partners. Like, some of them get a bit like, oh, why he was away. It can cause a lot of friction.
But because I think she sees how much, like, you know what, like, not only am I always away, when I get back, like, I watched the Icons Golf was like a rerun, was it? They rerunned it. Rerun it? Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. They reran it on Sky, and I, like, made her sit through it. But she was like, you know, her first reaction was, do you know what? You can see how much you love being there. And, like, I think that's why she kind of lets me get away with it, because she knows I'd be very upset if I couldn't do it.
Obviously, ex-Love Islander, we can't get away from that, Josh. I know you want to get past that.
Yeah, go on.
But
hit me.
Did you struggle with that, having that stigma attached to you? Because obviously going from, so to give people no context, I think a lot of people didn't know that you were a presenter before.
Yeah.
So you went into Love Island, and I feel like a lot of people were like, oh, he's only on TV because he's on Love Island.
Yeah.
You know, rah. Was that tough for you? Because obviously you knew that you were actually a presenter before.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't realize quite how you know what I mean, how deep it would get. Because the only reason, like, you know what I mean, like, as much as, like, people see you, and I think a few of the comments on my Instagram when I first went in, like, the boys were telling me, was like, right, he's supposed to be at the World Cup. Like, he's supposed to be doing this. And that was the people from, but then the majority of the people that follow me only ever were introduced to me via Love Island, right? Via the fact that I was on the show. So for them, it was all new. And that's where, like, I was then going, wow, okay, I'm going to have to, well, you don't really have that much freedom in terms of when you come out. It's like, what am I going to do? Because if you start going down the route of the more influencer-y route, and you don't do the sports stuff or the presenting bits, then all those people who just followed you just now are going to think, well, that's what he does, right? Because that's the 80%.
Of course.
So, like, for me and Steph, as, like, my gaffer, I was like, bro, like, we've just got to keep doing what we're doing, right? So mainly the people that we worked with afterwards were all the people that I'd built relationships with while at Sport Bible, while at Lad Bible, while freelance, and you know, the Nikes of this world, and et cetera. So for me, that was a bit, because you miss out on, like, I'd never seen cash, like the cash that you were getting for stuff at that time. Like, never ever seen it. I was like, what do you mean?
This is wild, yeah.
People can pay me thousands of pounds to promote this car fume thing. I'm like, bro, I don't even have a whip. I'll do it on the bus.
And this is post Love Island, right?
This is post Love Island, right? So then, but he was like, right, if you really want to be serious about what you're doing and you want to get to the level that you want to be at, you can't just be, you can't be out here just going and doing, you know, teeth whitening products and this and that. You have to. But then you walk into the same rooms, whether you're at, you know, a TNT or an ITV or a Sky Sports or a DAZN, it's like, they're like, right, but you're just from Love Island. And you then got to tell people, right, no, this is what I've done. This is my show reel. You know, I've worked with this person that you hold in high regard. And it was only through like, a few years of that. That's why I said I'm in a happy place now, because I feel like people don't ever say anything to me about Lubbo anymore. They just say,
about your presenting.
Bro, I see you doing this thing over here, or you did this live show.
But it was a long journey to get to that point.
It was like, I'd say like a 5-year journey.
Yeah. Talking lines then, you brought it up yourself. Big up, shout out to you. By the way, that's unreal. What a gig.
What the best gig in the world, bro. The best gig in the world.
Is that your favourite? I know you don't want to say your favourite.
It's so hard, but it's right up there at the very,
top
very
three.
top. Right? Like, imagine, but like
as a football fan, I don't think it gets any better, does it?
No, bro.
You're like chilling every day.
It don't get any better. It don't. Chilling, bro. What part of it's chilling? You know what? Look behind here, bro. You've got cameraman. You've got sound.
It's true.
Chilling, bro.
No. Sorry. That was actually a dig at myself. I know how hard it is.
Shout out Gareth Southgate for that, because like
wasn't his idea, was it?
100%.
Was it?
He was the one.
What, to do lines there?
Yeah, bro. If that's why you've got to give him credit for creating the atmosphere, the energy, and the space in which the Lions Den could thrive. And of course picking the right squad so that it thrives, right? Because it don't work without the players, and it don't work without Gareth either. So having that and being like ingrained into the squad, having never played pro ball, like, you sit down and it goes like, you watch like some like coverage of like the Champions League or whatever, and it's like bloody blah, one Champions League appearance with Celtic in 1996. That's me in there, bro. Sat next to Ballon d'Or winners, sat next to, you know what I mean?
It's always Celtic
top goal scorers, whatever. Like that's me. So to give me the opportunity and the reins to run with something as precious as our England squad.
100%, yeah.
And this squad is precious. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the most likable squad we've had in generations, man. Like in years. So I get to live it. Do you know what I mean? Every single day, and like post a good result, or like, Jude scores an overhead kick, in the last minute to save us, or Ollie Watkins. I'm there playing paddle with him the next day.
Crazy, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's, for me, is like a mind-blowing situation. I can't believe it. Then to be able to sit down, chop it up, and like sit next to each other and go like, oh, cool, how do you feel about this? And get the real answer. Nah, it's special.
Nah, it's crazy. Obviously, with that as well, you obviously become friends with them. You've been on holidays with them. Spend time with them, essentially, which is crazy to, obviously, as a fan.
Yeah.
But what I want to know is, a lot of footballers, sadly, and I think wrongly, get a lot of media press, a lot of, like, even on social media, for basically having a life outside of football. Which I think is bonkers.
For me, it's insane. It's like, for a fact, everybody and their dog goes out for a drink on a Saturday night.
Standard.
Or goes to a bar, or goes out for dinner, or goes to a nightclub, or whatever. Like, it's completely normal thing to do.
100%.
And yet footballers, for some reason, are held to this insane standard. Like, all right, cool, what should they be? They should be tucked up in bed at 8 o'clock every single day. It doesn't work like that, right? And then when you do go out, and what I find is crazy is like, you win the treble, you play exactly the same way as you do this year, or whatever it may be. Like, you're lauded for going out and having a good time, being one of the lads, and he's super normal. And there's something the wind changes, and suddenly it's like, that's a disgrace. I can't believe it. What's he doing? Nobody wants to win more than these boys. Like, whether it's at anything, like whether, you know what I mean? If you were to say, like, I bet you can't throw a ball to land over there to one of these boys, to one of the footballers there, they would do this for hours. They can't lose, but they cannot lose. So they want to win more than anything else. So they're not going to do anything that's going to detract from them winning for the club that they love, that they play for, in front of the fans that they respect. Do you know what I mean? So I always find it's like, in America, you're allowed to be who you want to be. You're allowed to express yourself. Whereas here, it's like, you start to express yourself and it's like, right, hold up a minute. Like, Hector Bellerin can't like fashion until you start, you know what I mean, winning Ballon d'Ors. It's like, people have lives. They're normal human beings. For me, I think like the media have got like to ask themselves some questions about like why. Also, like, certain players get hounded way more than, for me, I don't want to get into some conspiracy theories, but there's a lot of players out there who seem to get a free ride, and there's a lot of players out there who
I was going to ask you about racial bias.
You get cooked.
I was going to ask you about racial bias. And as mad as it sounds, I think there is a bit of racial bias out there. You see the way some players get, get painted in the media, and then some players, without, I'm going to say how it is. Some white players, they don't get, they'll spend £1 million on a house, nothing gets said. Sterling does it.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I always found the Sterling one smelt real funny for me, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And like, if you know Raz, he's the most family-oriented, chilled character. Stays, you know what I mean? He's never really front and center unless he's around family, people that he trusts. Like, so for them to come out and be like, right, look, he's got this tattoo here, or he spent this, he's got a barbershop in his house. You know how many of the boys got barbershops in the house? Like, not even a barbershop. It's a barber chair and a mirror. Yeah, anyone can do it. You can go to IKEA and get one. Like,
yeah, they blow it up
how is that a new?
yeah,
But they know
nuts.
that I think they feed into sometimes what if you post an article in the Daily Mail or the Sun or whatever online, it's everything's to generate clicks and views and ad revenue, right? It's like, well, what are people going to comment? What's going to outrage people? They do things, a lot of it's based on outrage rather than actual news.
100%.
And I think that's where we're going wrong, like very much so.
I asked you if you could show us your current state of mind. And do you know what? I think he's done a bloody fantastic job. Right, without further ado, Josh, turn your canvas around.
Oh, wow. Yeah, abstract. You said you wanted abstract. I bet you don't even know what's going on.
Right, kind of talk to me. What's going on here? It looks like a dream.
It's a dream, bro.
I had a dream.
Yeah, exactly. Little MLK business.
Okay.
I'm living in dreamland.
Man,
do you like how I've done that?
In what way?
Look at what I'm doing, bro. I never thought in my life I'd have, you know what I mean, like multiple TV shows. I just got back from, hanging out with 24 icons of the game where I grew up watching. I can go to, you know what I mean? I could go to, you know what I mean? I could go to the boxing and I could call up Eddie Hearn or Frank Smith and be like, yeah, cool. Would love a ticket here. Okay, cool, sweet. Let's do this, do that. I could, just done a shoot with Conor Ben, just spent a week with Chris Eubank Jr. over in Saudi. Like, you know what I mean? AJ's Fury, like all these, like entwined in all the sports and the things that I love, like it for me is baffling.
Mind blowing. Yeah.
It's mind blowing. You know what I mean?
So do you feel like you're in a dream?
I'm in a dream, bro.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's like you talk about the pinch me moments. Like there was no part of me, you can dream it, right? But there was no part of me that ever thought I would live that dream. I thought, no way, not a chance. And then so like now, when stuff happens, that's why I like to take sometimes like every month, like I take a moment, I just sit with one of my boys or with my missus and just like look back at the month and have a little reflection. Go like, yo, you actually done something crazy. Because like if I was to tell the 15-year-old, 14-year-old version of me, he'd be going, shut up, mate, you're going mad. You as mad as this painting. Yeah. That's
good reflection. Yeah.
This is where it's at, bro. The sun's shining through the TV. Yeah.
Right.
Because it's like, you know what I mean? Like, you get it? No, not at all. Not even
What's it meant
I'm joking.
What's it meant to signify?
Essentially, there was yellow on the thing, and that's a TV. And the TV is like more shows, hosting some stuff.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's some stuff coming. You know what I mean? Is bubbling up right now.
Oh, okay.
Chef's kiss. That
talks?
involves the TV, maybe a little talk situation, little talk show, something. So yeah,
I might be a guest. No.
100%, bro.
One day.
100%. You can come and do like a little painting segment on it. I'm taking it. Yeah, I can't do the painting segment.
I'll take anything, mate, at this point.
So there.
Right. Okay.
And then up there's some cash.
Some cash, maybe.
A little bit, it's a little bit gross.
It's all coming out now.
It's a little bit gross. But, right now, I think like, I never thought I would have this kind of life, yeah? So for me, like having the money to do the things that I really want to do and not like, because there've been times where I've been mad worried about cash. Like thinking, flipping heck, like what am I going to do this month? So for me now to have that freedom and that stability, it's a blessing for me. So that's the dream.
Do you know what I picked up on? What's the red question mark?
The question marks. The question mark was like, what's happening? What's happening?
What is happening?
I don't know. Nobody knows. Look at this page. This is what my mind's like. Do you know what I mean? This is what's going on up there.
Yeah, it's the reflection of.
Yeah. And why is there one green bubble?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Why is there?
Who knows? Ask yourself that question.
I want answers.
Ask yourself.
I want answers.
Look inside and see what you find. Why is the green bubble of truth there?
He's got all
it's like the close. It's the start of became close friends. You know what I mean? Close friend story, and then became the dream.
Nice social media. He's linking it all up.
Right.
Jeez, hey, come on, he gets stuff out. We're looking forwards now, Josh.
Okay.
I want you to paint me a moment in the future you want to happen. Now, I feel like you've sort of done it a bit here, really. So you sort of ruined this segment, really. But
that's okay.
Listen, it's just what you do.
All right.
Now, the big caveat here is it can be for you, or it can be to help society, help the bigger picture.
You lost me now. That would be for me. Yeah.
Says a lot about you. Right. Okay, Josh, without further ado, paint that drawing.
Would you want me to paint like world peace
draw
or
that
something?
paint.
Or like, you know what I mean?
Oh, listen.
Me
If you-
rebuilding the ozone layer. Who am I?
Listen, if you're a
Jesus.
selfless guy and you're a
Yeah,
man of the people,
you got the wrong
would've
man,
done it.
bro. You got the wrong man.
It's all coming out. He's showing his true colours.
Sound like my missus, bro.
What, is she into that?
Yeah, but well, bro, random caveat. We went to Stonehenge the other day. Yeah, she
Yeah.
went to do a skydive. They went past Stonehenge. Why am I there? And she's taken her full shoes and socks off, stood in front of the barrier, eyes closed, meditating in front of Stonehenge. I said, I'm done here now. So give me the ring.
Was that,
Give me the ring back. I said, I can't.
Take the chopper back.
What kind of hippy dippy nonsense is going on here? Talking about vibrations. And I said, what?
Where do you see us right now as humans, as a society? And how do you see us in 10 years? Where do you think the state of the world is going to be?
I think we just all need to get a little bit less sensitive. And like, you're worried about when like Dave Chappelle's getting flipping cancelled. You know, comedians are getting cancelled left, right, and centre. People are getting
That's when you know
cancelled
you're
left,
in
right, and
trouble.
centre. You know you're in trouble. Like, you know,
comedians
people
get
aren't the real versions of themselves. You know, they're like deciding what offends them. And I think it's going to go full 360. To be honest, I want 180. Sorry.
I think
I
agree
think
with
it's
that.
I think it's going to turn 180.
Yeah. If you were
Yeah.
the Prime Minister for a day, what law are you bringing in?
Oh.
One day only.
Do you know what? I would give everyone back their late license. Like pubs, clubs. London used to be like a 24-hour city.
Do you know, this is so obviously I'm not from London. I've been here for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
That was my biggest gripe. When I came to London, I was like,
Yeah.
I thought it was a city that never sleeps. Yeah.
I'm telling
Bro,
you right
11
now.
o'clock, this place is shut.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Dude,
Like,
I don't get it.
I feel like not that I'm out anymore, but like when you do eventually decide to, you know, put
wanna
the
do
WD-40 on the knees,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, do your stretches if you want to step out. You know what I mean? Like they everything 11 o'clock,
Yeah.
12 o'clock, everything is closed. And I feel like London had a nicer vibe, a nicer energy.
Yeah.
When people just were out, now there's not that much in terms of nightlife to do.
So without further ado, turn that canvas around, baby.
I'm embarrassed.
Mate, have you seen what you put out so far? Come on.
I'm more embarrassed.
Turn it round, son. Hold on. What on earth is going on here? Is that a net? What is
Nah,
that?
it's supposed to be a stand.
Right. Okay.
It's me.
That's a cup.
Champions League.
Champions League
final.
And what is the
CBS.
CBS.
Off. You can't see them because they're not in the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Thierry, Micah,
Yeah.
Kate,
Love that.
Cara. You know they're around, but I'm there.
You're there on your
The
own.
main guy.
Okay.
I'm the main man.
So you're looking for Kate Abdo's job, basically.
Sorry, Kate.
Yeah. Kate.
Like she's
Nah,
special.
she's
She's
unreal, yeah.
sick.
She's
Speaks
so
mad
good.
languages.
Yeah.
Like so good at what she does. And
And
then
what's
that's
that?
a little pram.
Ooh.
Not an afterthought. Looks like an afterthought. Looks like an afterthought.
Looks like an other.
Looks like
very
an
much
afterthought.
is.
Was the last thing I painted.
Hold on.
but
What
I wanted to
kind of-
take.
What kind of relate? They're not related, just to be clear.
No, I'm not
no.
bringing the baby to
To
CBS.
work.
Yeah,
Don't
Champions League
bring the
final.
baby to work.
Yeah, at Bayern. Yeah. Yeah, come to the Allianz, babe. Yeah. 3 months, is it? Yeah. No.
Right, you want to have kids in the
Yeah.
future, obviously.
I think yeah. You got that from there. Sick.
I mean, it was really tough to work it out.
I feel like you know I should have probably put a wedding
Yes,
up there, but
that
like
would be
everyone,
nice.
you get engaged. The wedding is natural. So then I think the baby, little mini me,
Yeah.
mini me,
Any preference? Blue or pink?
blue, obviously, bro. Come on. Which means I've put it out in the world.
Manifestation.
Manifest.
Manifest it.
Let me go Stonehenge and just take my shoes off quickly. Boy. Twin boys.
You're doing some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And you've had an incredible career. And I'm sure you're going to have an even better career going forward. But any advice for the people watching that want to get into what you do?
If you're trying to get into the presenting game or trying to do stuff similar to what me and Maz do, I would say you got to keep creating, got to keep putting content out there. Like whether you're getting 10 views or 100,000 views, you got to keep plugging away, because by the time you get to a situation like this, you don't want to, you know, fail in front of 100,000 people. You want to have made your mistakes already. You know, if I look back at the stuff that I started doing when I started presenting, whether it be led by one of my own channels, I look back, I'm like, oh my God, like how have I let that go out? But I'm glad I made those mistakes then. So it feels a lot more polished. At times, obviously, you can still mess up, but it feels a lot more polished now and it comes a lot more naturally. But definitely keep creating. Someone's going to notice and keep knocking on doors. That's what
Need
I
one
would say.
person to notice.
Yeah, you need one person to notice. That's all you need.
Love that. Unreal. What a message. Right, Josh, no one leaves the show empty-handed. Like I said, I've been drawing this beautiful picture of you.
You've been focusing.
I've been blessed, yeah. I've been
enough
locked
time.
in. Yeah. We stitched you up with the time limit. But I've actually been blessed to have a lot of time to make this piece of art.
Yeah.
All right. So, without further ado, Josh.
Yeah, go on. I want this to be a proper surprise.
Right, in 3, 2, 1.
Wow. That's actually come together quite nicely.
Is it? You gassing me up? Or
No, I swear to you've seen this. You've seen the talent that's locked in. Like, that's proper.
Yeah?
That's proper. That's actually must.
The hairline, you said you wanted the hairline?
You've given me the Jason Tatum, you ain't giving me the Stephen A. Smith. So
Yeah.
I'm just buzzing.
Come on.
I've only looked there.
Yeah.
That's the only place I've looked. I don't care about anything else.
All right. Also, we've got a bit of a rating system we
Yeah.
do here, yeah? So, will that be? Let's say you had to put it up in your household, which I'm assuming you're not going to. But if you were to,
Yeah.
where would that
I'll
go? Is it going to be pride of place in the living room, or is it going to be hidden away in the toilet?
Hidden away in the toilet. I spend more time in the toilet than in the living room. Yeah,
A lot of people don't really go there, do they? When they have guests around.
Yeah, like, nah. I've only got, I'm putting this in the toilet, but that's a happy place, bro. That's a good thing.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
Okay, so that's a good thing.
You're never more focused. You're never more focused than when you're on the toilet. You're looking at a little magazine.
Hey.
Oh,
Hey, it's me.
it's basically me.
It's a better looking version of me.
Literally.
Josh, anything you want to plug? Anything you want to shout out to the camera? It's all yours if you don't have anything.
Ooh. Do you know what? I'm not even going to use this as a sales pitch, bro. I'm just going to focus on the art, focus on the love of the game. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to promote Maz, bro. This guy out here has been grinding for so long.
What a guy.
You know what I mean? He was following my footsteps at Sport Bible, and now you're doing your own thing. And I respect it very highly. Mate. I love what you do, bro. So thanks for having me on, bro.
Very calm. Honestly, I'm not even just doing it because he did it. But honestly, this guy, the most humble, down to earth, loveliest bloke you'll ever meet in your life.
Chats a lot of nonsense.
He does chat a lot of bollocks. But he's a lovely, lovely bloke.
Thank you very much.
Heart of gold. So
appreciate
Josh,
it, brother.
You're a legend, brother.
My guy.
Thank you so much.
All good.
And there you go.
Back. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. And that is Drawn Out Conversations.